Watch who? Hello, and welcome to Two Watch Who, a Doctor Who podcast. I'm Mark.
I'm Sarah.
And I'm a Doctor Who fan.
And I'm new to watching Coombe.
Watching for the very first time.
Very first time.
And welcome, everybody. It's Mindgame this week. Now, but I think I need to apologise, for last week.
Right.
Because we did Auton last week. Auton 2, I should say.
Yeah.
And it was our first recording of 2025. At this point of recording, I'm still editing, but in the actual episode, we talk about Auton for about 20 minutes maximum. Well, let's see how this week goes. But I suppose that's the nature of these 90s stories that we're talking about.
Do you know what? I'm just going to start. I felt like I'd seen this before, and I don't know why.
Okay, well, we'll get into it. Because it's only 30 minutes. It's all in one room, 3 characters.
It's very condensed.
But I actually just had another quick update, which I forgot to say last week as well. And that is, which I know obviously everybody is waiting to hear the news. I haven't sorted out that Neighbours stuff yet still.
Oh my God, Mark.
I'm still bad Neighbours guy. And he emailed me before Christmas and I've not replied because I was going to do it.
That was you were going to do that.
I know. And it just didn't happen. I feel so terrible. It is quite a big job though, because I need to sort out all my hard drives and stuff first and find all the episodes.
How long has it been?
He sent me them in like July or June or something.
So how long has it been, Mark?
Well, like over 6 months. I know, I will get that, but I'm telling everybody now, so that reminds me to do it, and then everyone can remind me, harass me, everybody online, and tell me to do it. But also, I need to get this done because I'm going to the Neighbours 40th anniversary event in London in February, beginning of February. I don't know where he lives, but he could be there, so I need to do that before.
By February, basically.
I need to get it done before February, yeah.
Yeah, you do.
And send it off and send whatever. I can't even remember. Send the everything. It's when I asked you about every.
Ask him if he's there, because then you could give it to him and save for postage.
I don't know. Maybe. I'll be like,
sorry, this is 8 months late.
I know. He might not want to speak to me now. Anyway, I just had to say that. So yeah, let's talk about Mindgame. I mean, I did have this on video, but I have no memory of watching it. So it's weird that you feel like you've seen it and I can't remember seeing it. Like we've swapped experiences. That's really odd.
I feel like, I don't know.
I mean, I did tell you a bit about it last week. Is that what it is?
No, because actually your description, I think I had something else in my head. And then when it started, I was like, I feel like I've seen this. And I don't know whether like you might have shown me like a clip of something from the 90s years ago.
I've never shown you this because I've never seen it.
I don't know why I would have seen this.
And like I was looking on YouTube for it and stuff. It's on this obviously Russian website that we found. But I threw out the video. Like I just got rid of it because I meant to get it on DVD at some point and I just never have.
Yeah.
Have you just been secretly watching 90s Doctor?
No. Not at all. Or maybe it just looks really similar to something.
I mean, it looks like Doctor Who from back in the day. In terms of.
I don't know. It feels like something I've seen before. Maybe I'm just having like a premonition of some sort, but I don't know.
What a thing to have a premonition.
Else to say it.
Yeah. Well, so if for people who haven't watched it, it's half an hour. It's a Sontaran, a Draconian, and a human. And the human's played by Sophie Eldred. And they're basically just stuck in a room. They get beamed down.
Yeah.
So they're beamed down by an unknown force. And there's like a hand, like time scooping them. And that is from, maybe this is it. So the hand that's scooping them out, it's got like a black glove and a ring. That is basically like from the 5 Doctors, when they all got scooped out. They've sort of recreated that. There was a shot of a hand and stuff. Maybe you're thinking of that.
I saw that. I don't know. No, it was... I don't know. That's all I can say.
That'd be great for the video cover. Like reviews of Mindgame. I've seen it all before. And basically it is just the 3 of them in a room. It's like a play. You could see this on stage. You could see this performed at a convention on stage for half an hour,
Well, I'll be honest. I can't imagine this being a series. This surely is a one-off.
There is a sequel.
No.
There is a follow-up.
I can't imagine how.
I don't know. I've never seen it. I don't know. I don't know anything about
Okay.
it. Well, let's talk through just who we've got here. So we've got a Sontaran,
Yeah,
and we've had Sontarans in the 90s before. We had them, the newer Sontarans before in Shakedown on the
yeah.
Belfast and everything, who look different. This look is the original look, like the John Pertwee, when they first turned
Yeah.
up, and it's a really good costume. It looks authentic.
All the costumes are good.
Oh
Let's
well,
just
apart from one.
apart from one, but the main costumes in that room are good.
It's really good production values because they're doing like what I said before. Like they know they're filming it in a day, or I think it was like 2 days in a studio confined.
Yeah.
They know that this is the budget, and we've only got 3 actors, and they're putting the effort in to make it look good, and it's well lit and everything. It's within their means, I
Yeah.
think. But yeah, so this Sontaran, and it's performed quite well. The mouth is proper, like, because later on in actual Doctor Who, in the Two Doctors, those Sontaran costumes got really terrible. Like, it's much better than legitimate Doctor Who at some points, like the look
Yeah.
of it. Because at one point, they like get the Sontaran on the floor. He like falls over and they're like holding him down, and it looks solid. It doesn't look like there's a mask about to fall off. It
No,
looks like it's
everything
proper.
about it feels proper.
Yeah.
Everything in that room that's happening feels proper and solid and good.
Yeah. And we've also got the Draconian. Now, do you remember the Draconians?
No, that's the one where I was like, I'm sure I have seen this before. I can't remember.
It's a bit weird because they're like really popular, but they were only in Doctor Who once. And it was a John Pertwee story, and it's the one where they were in prison a lot, and they had the giant spoon trying to get out of prison,
Oh, God,
frontier
yeah.
in space.
I remember the giant spoon in prison. I don't remember the
Yeah.
code.
Well, that was like they were in like 3 episodes of a 6-part story. That I don't know why they made quite a big impact. I think because they looked good, and again, this costume, you got the face, you got the features, you can act in it. They can both act in their costumes.
And I think as well, the 3 different types of beings in a room.
Yeah.
They're all nice contrasts of characters, literally.
And then we've got the human. Now, I mean, I said it was Ace, but it might not be. But I like to think.
What would the professor do at one point?
Oh yeah, of course she does. Yeah, of course she does. So it is Ace. It is Ace.
Yeah.
So the only thing, I suppose, we did talk about like what happened to Ace in like the books and stuff. And I had another quick look through. I mean, there's so many different, because there's like so many different versions. Because one, she went off to be at Gallifrey Academy, at Time Lord Academy. Obviously, she turns up in the new series because she's running a charitable Earth. And then in the books, around the 90s, around this time in the books, she leaves the Doctor and goes off to be like a space mercenary, alien Ripley with a gun going around, like doing all of that stuff. So it does fit in with her character. The only thing I think with this is she wasn't Ace enough, because when she lands in, she's the last one to like drop in. They're like scooped out and she's put in the cell. And they go straight into just talking about like, oh, women can't be fighters, blah, blah, blah. And they have this whole discussion. And sometimes like, well, women on our planet and all of this stuff. If it was Ace beaming down, she'd be like, what the hell is going on? And she'd be trying to get out. You don't even see her look at the door or anything. She sits down and goes, oh, well, we're stuck in here now then. She doesn't even look. No one tells her.
No, I don't think so. Because I think this is Ace like she's growing up. Do you know what I mean? She's maturing. So that was Ace with the Doctor. This is 10 years later. You're not going to be the same person you were 10 years ago. I mean, don't forget, Mark, she jumped into that water and had a swim and was changed. So, like, and if you're in a situation where, like, your work now means that you're in you will have learnt new things. And so she's in an unusual situation. She's not just going to be dashing around in the same way she would have done when she was supposed to be 18, right? She's going to sit down and tactically work out, what am I going to do about this situation? And she does stand up for herself. She does talk about, yeah, well, I'm a woman. I do this. Get over it. She does say that.
Oh, I suppose so. But maybe just even in that situation, she's not like, you've been scooped out
And
of
she has
wherever
a
you are.
gun initially, and all that's taken off her. I mean, you're thinking of Ace that would always have ammo in her backpack. She doesn't have any of that.
Yeah, I suppose so. I thought she could be a bit more sort of gung ho about things. She was a bit, and then she was very well spoken a lot of the time when she's talking to them. So I don't know. She could just be a bit more.
This is a development of a character.
Okay.
I think this is Ace, or like that. What character would be at this point in her life, not the Ace of. In the same way that, like, when we meet any of the companions later on, and like they're still the companion, but they're not the same person.
I mean, this is made 10 years since they finished Doctor Who.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, she looks good on it. She looks exactly the same.
It looks exactly the same. It's all that gymnastics.
Yeah, she's been keeping up. Yeah, that's what she was doing in between.
Yeah.
But even her look as well, it just looks great. It doesn't look like, I don't know, it's just done really well. But then we do also have this, the reason that they're there. So this higher being, I mean, you've literally just watched this, haven't you? I watched it yesterday, so for the first time. So
First time.
You know this better than me right now. This higher being, it's initially just a voice and looking in them. It's like Doctor Who Big Brother. They're all put into the room together. I mean, oh my God, Doctor Who Big Brother would be amazing. Dress up a load of aliens, get some Doctor Who characters in there.
Who is she?
Yeah.
Who is she? That's a Sontaran.
So we've got the Davina of Doctor Who looking down on them, being like, I've captured these 3 beings.
Yeah.
And it's just sort of see how they react and how they fight and what or not. I don't know. I can't actually remember what the reason was.
I don't think it's very clear, if I'm honest. I think it was just more around like trying to understand them. That's the sort of trying to understand that what they do and how do they react to different things and in different situations.
And it's like it's a hand and a voice to begin with, and then we see sort of the back of the head, and you're like, okay. And then eventually we do see the being that has captured them. And whoever made this decision on the day, whoever, you put all that effort into the lighting and the set and the Draconian and the Sontaran, and you do all of that. And it feels like they get to the filming day and they're like, shit, we haven't got a costume for this other person. Someone go down the joke shop and buy a gorilla outfit and chuck it on
a werewolf mask or something.
And because the mouth, because have all that effort with the mouth and the Sontaran and maybe the focus was on those, the actors there. But even editing it afterwards, if I was doing that, I'd be like, I'm gonna just not have any of that face as much as I can. And I know he turns up at the end and actually interacts with them, but until that point, even don't show this gorilla mask because and he's got this big red gun that doesn't fit in with anything, and it just lets the whole thing down. It's like, oh.
Now, I felt that I wondered whether, and maybe this will come out in the next one, whether that was the actual being. Because the thing we see at the start has a black glove with a red jewel. Yeah,
but I think they're just trying to make it like the 5 Doctors, because that's what the Time Lord had in the 5 Doctors.
I wondered whether it's like, that is like the being, a face of a being we're sending in, but it's not the actual... charge.
I don't think it goes as deep as that. I think you've thought about it more than they have. I'm pretty sure. I don't know.
Well, we'll find out in the next one. So, I genuinely don't know, but I'm just going off the fact that the start had that sort of all that it felt very sophisticated look, and then what we ended up with was quite sort of not. It didn't even fit what it was trying to. It didn't fit what I thought this character was going to be.
No, because he had like a sort of medallion like thing around his neck.
Yeah, it felt like I kind of wondered whether that was supposed to be, because he knew it was going to go in and interact. Like, this will be my body and face of the thing. Because obviously it gets off, but I wondered whether they thought that could happen. So that's not the actual. In order for this to be other episode, because if it's another episode. That's the end, isn't it? The thing's dead, so how does it continue? In which case, it can't have been the thing. That's how I feel.
I have no idea. There's the interaction between them. It's showing the different races and stuff. I feel like the Sontarans are interesting. I mean, for me, the most interesting Sontaran is the very first one. And after that, it just doesn't really... They're a bit... Like them and the Draconians here, they're all about, honor and all of this stuff, and they're having all these conversations. That's how I think Star Trek likes to do aliens and stuff. It's a bit Star Trek-y.
Yeah.
And I don't really like that in Doctor Who. I never really like, those kind of politics of just aliens talking about honor and all that stuff. I mean, we had that in the Shakedown one, they're talking about pair bonding and all of that stuff. I don't know why it always happens with Sontarans. They always talk about like women and
I know.
gender and stuff. It always, like, if you're meeting a random alien for the first time, it'd be like, oh, so where, like, what do you breathe? Where do you come from? What do you eat? But for in this, it's always like, well, women can't do that. And what is your reproductive system?
Sontarans, though, I mean, and that's what's really evident in this. Are so like, we fight. That's it.
The fighting stuff, yeah, but they always go down this route of like, women, blah, 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 just because I don't know. It's very, I mean, this is written by the guy who script edited all the John Pertwee stuff. He's an actual Doctor Who writer. He's written a lot of Doctor Who. So he knows these characters quite well, but so maybe it's a bit sort of old school in that way. I didn't particularly find it that interesting, them just chatting. I liked it when they were sort of trying to work out what was going on. I mean, it's only 30 minutes, so not a lot can happen.
No.
So, I mean, did you enjoy it?
I did enjoy it. Do you know what? For 30 minutes, I thought it worked really well.
Yeah.
It couldn't have been any longer. It couldn't have really been any shorter.
No, I mean, it sets up the mystery. Something's happening.
Exactly. You meet each of these characters. It gives like a bit of tension. It fit perfectly.
I mean, the fact that they all end up working, you think they're killing each other, and then they get up and they're like, oh, actually, no, we've outwitted the guy. Yeah. I mean, I feel like maybe that's why you feel like you've seen it before, because I feel like that's like an Aesop's fable or something. The enemies work together to defeat. I mean, it's literally just that.
But it was being in that room. It wasn't so much. I don't know.
And I mean, the acting's good. I mean, they do really well in the costumes. And Sophie Eldred. I mean, Sophie Eldred at this point has been playing Ace for a long time. I mean, also around this time, which I haven't mentioned, the other people. So actually, this is made by different company. This is made by the people that did the Yeti one with Victoria and the Sergeant Benton one. This is not Probe or Auton or anything. This is a different company.
I sort of got that feeling.
It has got a different feel, hasn't it? It's got a slightly more professional, polished feel, I feel. Yeah. But also during this time, Sophie Eldred is doing audio dramas for the other people as well. I've got one here. I've copyright-free audio adventures of Audio Adventures in Time and Space with Sylvester McCoy as the Professor. And she started off as Ace, but then they got worried about copyright. So it ended up being, instead of the Professor and Ace, it ended up being the Dominique and Alice. So, but again, written by Mark Gatiss, this one that I've got here, Republica. Yeah, so she's been doing audios and she's playing Ace, but in the audio she plays it like TV Ace, oi, Professor, blah, 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 like, like that. So she is doing it, like you say, she's doing a bit of a different performance here. Maybe for copyright reasons, she's staying away from younger Ace. But no, it's nice to have that mention of the Professor. Yeah, I mean, I feel like, if you're going to show this, you could film this half an hour thing, show it at a convention on a big screen, nice entertaining evening.
Yeah. I
might not go, once you've seen it once, I mean, you feel like you've seen it before, even before you've seen it. You might not want to watch it again.
No, I'm intrigued that there's a second one because I just can't see where it goes. Okay.
So actually, I was just looking on Wikipedia. Here's the critical reception bit from Wikipedia on this.
Okay.
Paul Clark calls the drama a short but sweet character drama that is clearly Doctor Who on the sly. Stuart Gutteridge from Page Fillers describes Mindgame as a rushed piece of work with a very simple plot. According to him, it has a predictable ending, but is nothing less than entertaining. Actually, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Ruben Herfindahl thinks that Mindgame is the worst professional Doctor Who related video he has ever seen. The only positive thing about this video is the acting of Sophie Eldred and Miles Richardson, who's a Draconian. The writing is bad. Richard Radcliffe adds that he found the characters ordinary and predictable. Kathy Sullivan thinks the characters are over-relying on stereotypes. According to her, it is a good short story with nicely done costumes and special effects. So there you go. That's that's what Wikipedia says about it. I mean,
Well, there we
yeah,
go.
I mean, it's true, really. It's just it depends what you want out of it. I think if you just want to see, oh, Sophie Eldred on TV doing some ace
Yeah.
acting, and you have your favourite Draconians and your Sontarans on TV looking as good as they ever have, great. If you want like new Doctor Who, I don't think you're getting it with this.
No.
But, it fills the gap. It fills the gap. It's a bit like, that half an hour of the Sergeant Benton one. It's just a
I've
little
already forgotten
slice.
that one, I'll be honest.
Oh, God. Wait till it gets to the DOS because we've got to remember all of these. I mean, there's not too much more we can say apart from I'm excited to see what happens. So it is called Mindgame Trilogy, and I think it follows on its because they all beam away at the end. They basically get away and they all separately beam off. And I think it's 3 short stories. Each of them has a little short story about what happened to them next.
Right, okay.
So I am excited to see it because, as I say, I've never experienced it at all. So yeah,
I thought it was perfectly fine. The ones that are fine are the ones that we have the least to say about. We always say this.
Yeah.
Like, if they're really, really, really good, you can say quite a bit. Like, if they're amazing. If they're terrible, you've got a lot to say. But when they're just all right and good, it's really hard. You're like, yeah, that's good. That's about it.
Like, yeah. I mean, the production values are good. We're up to, 90? Oh, we're still 98 now. Yeah.
I followed it. I got through it.
Could I tell you an unrelated story while we're here, while we're chatting?
Absolutely.
Because I forgot to tell you this the other day. You would have... I was going to tell you this. This is typical. So when I always go to the... ever since when I bought that jumper off Facebook ad and it was like a scam and I never got it.
Oh, yeah. Mark's scam jumper. Yeah.
So,
That never arrived.
Because it was like a great jumper. I clicked on the Facebook ad, paid my £30, waited 28 days, never turned up.
You waited more than 28 days. You waited like 4 months and then you were like, oh, I got his jumper. And I was like, Mark, that's a scam.
Yeah, because you went on that Trustpilot website. Because you're like, oh, well, where'd you get it from? And you went on and it was like 0% or whatever the minus thing was, and all these people saying it was a scam, which I had no idea about. Anyway, I thought of that the other day because I was at work and I needed a PDF edited.
Right.
And I tried on Canva, I tried all these free things, and I could, every time it exported, all the text went out, and I literally had one line to edit, and I was like, I cannot do this. There is nothing free online that edits this PDF. So I was like, oh God. And I kept doing it, and then they were like, oh, you need to pay, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I found loads of different websites. And then I did one, I was like, I just need to get this done. I've spent so much time on this. And it was like 50p, sign up 50p. And I know that in the small writing, it was like, if you don't cancel, it's £49 a month.
Yeah.
Afterwards. And I knew that. I thought, right, I'll put this through, edit this PDF for 50p, and then I'll cancel straight away. So I did that. And then I went back, and then you had to create a login and everything. And I went back to the website, logged in, and I was like, right, I just need to go in and like cancel. And there was like no buttons or anything to go to anything else to cancel or do anything. And I was like, oh no. So in my head, I was like, oh, that website Sarah went to, I better type that in on Trustpilot. I better do that to see. And I obviously I typed it in. And okay, it was like 90%. This is a scam. I signed up for 50p. Like, there's no way to unsign. And now I'm paying £49 a month and I'm trying to get my money back. I was like, oh my God, why did I do this? Why did I put my card details in? So all you can do on there is like send them an email. So I emailed, I was like, please take this as cancellation of my trial and everything. And I thought, oh no, what else am I going to do? So I was on this website and I went to the terms and conditions and I read through all these pages, and hidden in there was like a thing to be like, this is how you cancel, do this. Because it's 50p for 3 days. If you don't cancel within 3 days, they charge you £49 a month. And there were loads of, and there's no cancellation button or anything. You have to go through it. Anyway, so I read these terms and conditions, the fine print, and it is hidden there.
Of course it is.
And so I emailed them, and then I did what they said to go to this really hidden, very, very hidden part of the website that you can do. And anyway, I've got an email saying it's all cancelled and everything. So I'm crossing my fingers. I need to check. I don't think I've been charged £49, but it was very close. And I was like, everybody, here's a tip, New Year tip. Trustpilot, if you're not sure about any of the things, have a look on Trustpilot first if you think you're being scammed. I can't fit this in.
Trustpilot those terms and conditions, Mark. Save someone.
Yes, yeah, because loads of people were saying there's no button when you log in. There's no button or anything. Yeah, it's really hidden, and I think people think you have a month's trial or something like that before they charge, but it's 3 days and it's very hidden. Anyway, I can't link that into Mindgame or Doctor Who or anything that we're talking about, but I just wanted to tell you right now before I forget.
Sometimes play mind games with you. There you
Mind
go.
Game, there you go, Mind Game. When you think of Mind Game, think of Trustpilot. Don't get scammed. I don't know.
It's not your best link, but there we are.
Well, you know what? It's another one done, and it's 30 minutes, and I knew you'd like 30 minutes. And it is Mind Game Trilogy next, so we can carry on. So we've got a nice little through line, so that might be quite nice.
Right, that's easy for me.
I have found it's 50 minutes, though.
Okay.
So let's just see how that goes.
Fine. It is what it is, isn't it, Mark?
Let's hope we don't see that gorilla costume. That's the one thing. I just can't believe it. It's all, one production thing. Surely the people on the day saw that and went, what have we done? I'd rather have an actor in makeup.
But I wonder also if it's because, let's be honest, you've got such solid design references, and then that you have to make your own design, right? In theory, you're like, oh, we can make any monster.
True. Yeah, true.
Like, oh, but our budget, we've got within our budgets, whereas the others, you know exactly what the costume is because it has to be that costume. So that's what you're going to, right? So, oh, it has to look like this because this is what the character is. And then we can do anything here. It's almost like when you can do anything, nothing can happen.
Yeah, I mean, if I was designing that, yeah, I may be.
Like, what monster did you think? If you were told, like, right, it's mastermind, the person in charge, I don't think I'd have them as furry.
No, I'd spray someone silver or something. I'd go silver.
Bold cap.
I'd go bold cap, silver. But then it just looks really cheesy in B-movie, probably. So I can't really complain, can I?
I think I'd have bold cap. See, now in my head, I was thinking like orange and green, but because that other character's orange and green, you can't do that.
Yeah. I'd go or gold, maybe. Spray someone gold. It would end up looking like a really bad like Star Trek thing.
Yeah, exactly. I think this is the thing, like, however you do it.
No, but I wouldn't buy a gorilla mask. I wouldn't buy something recognizable. I wouldn't buy like an animal that's recognizable.
I wouldn't buy an animal.
Actually, even whatever the design was, even if I had to go to like the nearest shop and get something, I'd make sure the mouth moved. It's the mouth is the problem. It's these claws and these fangs, and then just someone. That's what makes it look like in a mask. That's the problem.
I'd have a bold cap, but maybe pointy ears.
That's Star Trek.
I don't know. I don't watch these things, Mark.
I'd make it a Vord from Keys of Marinus and have him in a gimp suit.
Gimp suit works?
Gimp suit with like literal gimp suit with a mouth hole. And they just all through that.
Gimp suits always work. Anyway. But it's hard. Yeah. When you're told like, well, you can do anything, what do you do?
The nearest you came to being a Vord was that gimp suit when you fell over and hurt your
I got a gimp suit when I did the panto.
That's what I'm thinking of when you were in the panto.
Yeah, no, that is, and I tripped over the stage weight.
So what was it? The underwater sequence in Pinocchio.
Yeah,
there was like ultraviolet sea creatures on stage, and so you had to be in a black all-in-one.
Yeah,
and like be a jellyfish or something.
Yeah.
So you'd have to run in, and you'd literally be a Vord. You'd suit up as a Vord.
Over the face, everything, black gimp suits. We all were. We had to get into these black gimp suits, and we were just one person short. So I had to get completely changed, get into this black gimp suit, run on, be a jellyfish, run off, get changed back into my normal clothes, and then go off and do the kids. Hi, kids. Did you enjoy the show?
Yeah, I know. I just remembered you being like, oh, that's my cue. I've got to get in my gimp suit. That's you as a Vord. That's
and
how
like
the Vord
those
felt.
face things as well, they are really like, when you see like people on nights out, like, or whatever, people when they are really stuff like it, you do get used to it, but initially that is a really suffocating thing, having your entire face blocked off,
like the whole thing, like all in one, like onesie all in one thing, but
once
over
you
your
get
face.
Your neck, you're like, okay, and then once you start covering up your face and your nose and then your eyes, because it goes over the top like this, and then you zip it up the top.
Yeah,
it's actually like quite claustrophobic.
Yeah, I bet.
It's quite hot because I mean, you know, I've got hair, so you have to clip your hair back, and once it's over your whole face, so because you have to put it over your face to then get to zip it up the back. It's actually quite claustrophobic. Like the first time I did it, I was in for about 10 seconds. I couldn't do it. I was like, I don't know if I can do this. And then, like, it's really claustrophobic.
Yeah,
you have to like line up the eye things. You have to line everything up, and it is a bit claustrophobic.
Yeah, when you're rushing to get into it, and then you're moving around and trying to work out what you're doing.
You're hot and like, and then but once you know what your experience, I was like, right, let's just do it again. And I was like, well, this is what the experience is. You're fine. But that initial like, and it's really tight. Everything's tight, and it's tight to your face. It is actually a bit. Oh yeah.
Do you know what? There was a straight to video documentary in the 90s called "I Was a Doctor Who Monster." And literally, you could just edit that clip of you just in there. In that now, you could have featured in that video. You've said exactly the same thing as that they've said. You can totally. That is you. You know exactly what it's like to be in that. I mean, the guy who played the gorilla in this probably is thinking that as well. It was really hot in that thing. There we go. That's Doctor Who Monsters for you.
Oh yeah,
and all in ones. Well, yeah, we'll see what happens in Mindgame Trilogy then. Let's see what happens. And we are very close to the end of the 90s. You'll be pleased to know.
You've been saying this for a few weeks, Mark.
Okay, so let's just tell everyone what's coming up. Well, no, yeah.
Can't.
Okay, so we've got we've got 3 left.
Okay. But is that my trilogy?
That's including next week. We've got 3. No, it's called Mindgame Trilogy. It's just one off.
Oh, right.
Yeah. There's not like more than one. We've got 3 things to watch, 3 items to watch.
Fine, okay.
And then we're done. Although it's a sort of request, and I think we should do it. It's on Lucas on Patreon wants us to do Curse of Fatal Death, which is the comic relief special around this time with Rowan Atkinson as the Doctor. So it's not like official. That's why I wasn't going to do it. It's like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I think we'll do that as a Patreon one. Mainly for him. I can't stand it. I really do not like it. So I think we should do that because it's got some, good guest stars in it and stuff. But it's like the comedy version. Well, you just have to see. So we will do that as well as part of the 90s. But after that, that's it. Done. We're done for the 90s. So not too long, everybody, if you're wondering. And I hope all you Mindgame fans... I hope all you Mindgame fans have enjoyed. Sorry again last week for Autumn 2. In the meantime, everybody, you can find us on Patreon. You can find us on Blue Sky, Twitter, and Instagram. I haven't done anything on Instagram for a while either. Sorry, everybody. Do you know what?
I can't do anything on Instagram.
I know.
So.
I need to. Do you know what? I've taken Twitter off my phone. I don't have Twitter on my phone.
Yeah, I want to come off it.
But I can't get Blue Sky on my phone either because my phone's too old. So I don't really have. It's not I've got to log in to do stuff.
Can you send me the Blue Sky info and then I can go on Blue Sky?
Yeah, it's just it's To Watch Who and the password. So it's the same as Twitter.
You'll delete this, I presume.
Yeah, no, I'm going to delete this bit. I'll bleep it out. And we'll see you all next time for Mindgame Trilogy. I don't know, some people, it's on DVD as Mindgame Saga, as like both of them in one. So some people have like the special edition-y one, but we're doing them separate because they did come out separately back in the day on VHS.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to deactivate my Twitter.
I mean, I've just taken the app off my phone. I've not deactivated it, and I'll still do. I wasn't sure if I should do To Watch Who on Twitter or not because there's still a lot of people on there. But anyway, we have gone on far too long now. We will see you next week, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
To Watch Who.